Why Vietnam does not choose Chinese fighter jets, 6 strategic reasons. Every time China releases footage showcasing its latest fighter jets, from the J-16 to the J-20, social media across Asia lights up. Sleek maneuvers against a blue sky, confident captions about Asia's technological pride, and sometimes even bold comparisons with America's F-22 or F-35. And then, a familiar question arises. If China's fighter aircraft are truly this advanced, why doesn't Vietnam, a neighboring country, buy them? Vietnam's answer, when distilled, comes down to 2 words: strategic caution. Because purchasing combat aircraft is not like buying smartphones. It is not about flashy design, low prices, or impressive marketing videos. It is a decision that directly affects national security, sovereignty, and the lives of pilots. Today, Minh Quan Story International breaks down 6 core reasons why Vietnam has consistently said no to Chinese fighter jets, reasons rooted not in emotion, but in long-term strategic calculation. Reason 1: trust cannot be bought. In international relations, weapons are more than metal, engines, or radar systems. They represent trust, shared data, operational doctrine, and strategic secrets. Vietnam and China maintain a complex relationship, cooperation mixed with rivalry and occasional confrontation, especially regarding maritime disputes and border issues. In such a context, relying on a neighboring power for core air combat systems would mean placing national airspace in the hands of a supplier whose strategic reliability is, at best, uncertain. In military planning, the greatest fear is not inferior weapons, but weapons that can be remotely constrained, disabled, or denied at the most critical moment. Reason 2: replicated technology, limited maturity. There is no denying that China has made rapid progress in military aviation. However, many of its frontline fighter platforms still rely heavily on reverse-engineered or derivative designs. The J-11 originates from the Su-27. The J-15 is a navalized derivative of the Su-33. The J-16 evolved from the Su-30. Even the J-20, China's flagship 5th-generation fighter, continues to raise questions among Western analysts regarding engine reliability, software stability, and true combat readiness. The issue is not imitation itself, but operational maturity and reliability over decades of service. For Vietnam, where each pilot and aircraft represents a strategic asset, technical uncertainty is an unacceptable risk. Reason 3: low purchase price, high lifecycle costs. In military procurement, acquisition cost is only the visible tip of the iceberg. What truly matters is lifecycle cost, maintenance, spare parts, upgrades, training, and long-term sustainment. Many Chinese platforms are competitively priced up front, but rely on proprietary components and centralized maintenance chains. When technical issues arise, spare parts, software updates, and specialized expertise must often come directly from the manufacturer. By contrast, Russian aircraft operated by Vietnam allow a far greater degree of local maintenance, system integration, and technical autonomy, significantly reducing operational vulnerability during crises. Reason 4: weapons are political instruments, not discount goods. Buying fighter jets is not a commercial transaction, it is a long-term strategic commitment. Dependence on a supplier whose export policies can be influenced by political shifts introduces unacceptable risk. A single diplomatic dispute, policy adjustment, or strategic recalibration could disrupt supply chains or technical support. In national defense, even a short interruption can create a dangerous strategic gap. Reason 5: training, doctrine, and combat experience. Fighter aircraft effectiveness is not defined solely by specifications, but by the ecosystem of training, doctrine, and joint operations. Vietnamese pilots have decades of experience operating Russian aircraft, with established doctrines for air defense, maritime strike, radar integration, and command and control coordination. Transitioning to an entirely new system would require rebuilding training pipelines, operational doctrine, and logistical frameworks, introducing risk during the transition period, with little strategic benefit. Reason 6. Long-term effectiveness over short-term image. Ultimately, Vietnam does not seek technological spectacle, it seeks reliable, sustainable, and combat-proven capability. A fighter jet that is cheaper at purchase but generates political risk, logistical dependency, and long-term operational uncertainty may cost far more over its service life than its price tag suggests. Vietnam's decision is therefore not driven by sentiment or bias, but by cold, pragmatic strategic reasoning. Vietnam does not reject Chinese fighter jets out of emotion. Vietnam chooses not to depend on them, for reasons of trust, security, autonomy, and long-term effectiveness. In military affairs, cheaper does not mean better. Visually impressive does not mean reliable. And proximity does not equal safety. Fighter jets are not purchased to impress, but to defend the skies. And in those skies, strategic clarity remains the most important weapon of all. If you found this analysis valuable, feel free to share your thoughts and join the discussion. Minh Quan Story International, Defense and Geopolitics, explained differently.
Minh Quan Story International. Not just reporting the news, rethinking it.